Hallo kijkers en welkom Precious.
Hallo ouders, hoe gaan het met jou vandaag?
Beskaffelijk. Gaan beskaffelijk. Gaan lekker.
Okay.
Soos 'n krekker. Dis mos wat jy wil hoor.
Ja, met mij gaat het niet zo lekker. Nee.
Wat dan?
It's a bittersweet moment.
Wat is dit nou weer? Wie maak jou hartseer? Sê my net sy naam.
Okay.
Sê vir my sy naam.
Oh, dis maakt mij hartseer.
Okay, dan kan ek nou niks doen nie Precious. Okay? But anyway, wat is nou weer bittersweet Precious?
Dit is ons laatste episode.
Moenie so sê. Is ons al daar?
Ons is al daar.
Wow, wow, wow. 10. 10. Dit moet 10 wees.
10 episode lang van ons is hier.
As jy moeg vir my ja.
Ek het gesê dis bitters.
Okay.
So dis maar die.
Ek glo jy is alright. Ek kan nogal sy effek op mense hê, né? Ja. So ja, kykers ons kompetisie maak ook klaar. 4 wenners. Ons het vir Faruska, Hein Clark, ons het vir Christina Hendrik, ons het vir Robson Shaningwa en ons het vir Herbert van Tonner. Loumarie gaan vir julle bel. Nou Loumarie is ons bemarker by Synergy, as ook Irongo en sowel as On The Rocks. Sy gaan vir julle bel en dan kom kollek julle $200 Spur vouchers by haar. Baie dankie vir Spur wat vir ons halfpad gestap het. Daar gaan meer kompetisies kom. Die is beslis nie die eerste en die laaste nie. Daar gaan nog meer kom. Wat hou die program in vir vandag Precious?
Soos gewoonlik, lekker geselskap, lekker kos en 'n lekker landskap. Maar ons het maar so 'n special take back.
Ja.
Yes,
Ja,
yes.
ek dink omdat dit ons laaste ene is, my gunsteling plek waar ons gaan besoek het was die Spitskoppe saam met Sheldon. So ons gaan besoek weer die Spitskoppe,
Enige
né?
rede hoekom dit jou gunsteling plek was?
Asemrowend.
Definitief.
Ja. Ja, Precious, ek wil gou gaan jigga daar by die rooster.
Wat is Giga nou weer?
Jigga is ons woord vir die dag. Ek wil gou 'n draai gaan maak daar by die rooster.
Okay, so
Ja.
Giga hierdie kant toe en ek
Jigga
Giga
daai
hierdie
kant toe.
en dan cross ons weer later.
Ja, sê. Moenie weggaan nie, ons is nou terug.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Van my hier by die rooster te bevind. Nou ek is met Clive hier, chef Clive van Clive's Quality Catering. Chef Clive, wie is jy?
Ek is chef Clive, maar ek ken my as chef Zola. Sommige sê Clive, chef Clive Zola,
Ja,
maar ek is van Clive.
Clive. Okay, nou sê vir my waarvan af kom jy?
Ek is oorspronklik van Walvis Bay, Narrowville.
Ja,
Gebore, groot geraak, skoolklaar gemaak.
ja.
Ja, alles het daar begin en ek dink alles het daar eindig.
Nou ek het 'n ding hier begin met Precious, nee. Ek sê vir hulle altyd die beste chefs in die wêreld is manne. Wat sê jy van daai ene?
Die beste chefs is manne.
Aha.
Van 'n man sal kook en almal sal saam met hom.
Daar sê.
Ja,
Ek hoop Precious luister vir
Die mens
ons.
sal kwaad slaap nie.
Daar sê. Nou wat gaan jy vir ons vandag voorsit?
Okay, vandag het ek vir julle garlic mashed potatoes
Ja?
en rouladen,
Wie goed?
beef
Ja.
rouladen, saam met 'n lekker barbecue sausietjie en dan garlic mashed potatoes.
Okay, nou hoe maak jy die move?
Okay, ek het hom so 'n paar ure voor dit het ek hom ingelê met 'n sousie, lekker gespys,
Daar sê.
grove peper en grove sout,
Ja, is dit jou spys? Watter spys gebruik jy?
kapana spice
Ja.
en dan
Ja.
grove sout met 'n bietjie vars kruie, olyfolie en dan grove swart peper.
Hy laat my sommer gesond voel, jong. So waar ook. Hy
Ja, dit
sit sommer 'n wip in my in. As jy so praat, jy weet.
Hy sal beslis wag totdat jy hom proe.
Ja,
Ek
ja.
het green pepper, yellow pepper en red pepper het ek
Ja,
gestir
ja,
fry.
ja.
Ons gaan hom vol stop.
Kan ek hierdie in 'n rol?
Ja, jy
Daar
mag,
sê,
jy mag,
daar
jy
sê,
mag.
daar sê, okay, word gerol. En dan wat is die vleisie sê jy? Wie is hy?
Dis minute steak.
Minute steak.
Yes.
Okay, en dan pen jy hom nou so vas.
Dan pen jy hom lekker vas dat die goedjies nie oop gaan op die rooster nie.
Okay. Okay. En ek sien jy gebruik so 2 penne, né?
Ja, om stewig vas te hou.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Dan gaan hy rooster toe.
Hy's nou rooster toe.
Dan
Okay.
gaan hy rooster.
En dan nou, hy word vir hoe lank gebraai?
Ag, hy gaan so 3 minute op die een kant.
Dis 'n vinnige move. Nou hoekom hierdie dis? Hoekom hierdie dis?
Baie mense weet nie van dat jy hoor net van hom.
Ja,
En baie
ja.
mense besef nie hoe lekker is hy nie.
Ja?
Hy gaan met enige iets.
Okay.
As jy sousie by maak, kan jy 'n slaaitjie maak. Met 'n oonbrood, met 'n roosterbrood. Hy werk met enige iets.
Nou watter blare lê hierso? Voor jy nou hier kom, vertel my van die blare.
Dis my vars krye.
Ja?
Ek kan nie sonder krye kos maak.
Ja? Hoekom?
Dis my vars krye.
Wat
Dit
maak
hou die
krye?
liggaam gesond.
Okay, dit hou
Glo
die
aan
ek het mos
krye, hou jou
gesê
aan die
man.
gang.
Ja, ek het mos gesê ek kry
Hulle
sommer
hou
so
jou aan die go, hulle hou jou aan die
'n
go.
wip hier in my in, verstaan jy? Ja man. Ja, ja. Okay. Okay. Hoe is die ding se naam nou weer?
Beef rolladen.
Beef rolladen.
Rolladen.
Jo, jy laat my baie duur voel vandag man. Chef Zola. Nou sê vir my jy seker al reg oor die land gekyk het.
Ja, noorde, suide. Ek like dit baie om in die oop veld te kook.
Nee.
Ja, in die natuur. Dit is my ding.
Nou waarvan kom hierdie passie? Waar begin dit vir jou? Waar het dit begin?
Dit is maar ietsie wat begin het in my ouma se ou skakelhuisietjie uit. Jy weet, groente skoonmaak, vleisie skoonmaak, hier skil, daar skil, hier
Yes.
bak, daar braai.
Yes. Yes.
En so het alles begin toe die gogga my by 2021 toe begin ek nou like in vol.
In alle ernstig. Het jy gaan opleiding ondergaan en so
Ek
aan?
het 'n praktiese opleiding gehad by
Ja.
chef David Thomas.
Ja?
Die welbekende chef van Gourmet.
Yes.
En ja, alles het.
As jy klaar met die, kan ek hom toemaak,
Jy
wegskuif.
kan op een kant sit. Jy kan
Ja, sê. Nou sê vir my ons het hier 'n baie sterk stuk pan. Wat gaan die binne aan?
Hier het ek vir julle cocktail tomaties gerooster met 'n bietjie garlic poeier,
Oeh.
vars krye en olive.
Ja. Ek wens Presses kon hier gewees het man. Ek wens regtig man. Wie Presses het vir my uitgesot. Vir hierdie hele shows het Presses my uitgesot en ek dink dis net gepas dat ek vandag vir jou hier het om vir Presses uit te sot. Dis my manier van vir haar dankie sê. Ek dink sy gaan hierdie beef rouladen geniet.
Sy sal beslis.
Sy gaan dit geniet. Ja. Is hierdie gesonde kos, chef Zola?
Baie beslis outas. Jy kan
Sê-
nie verkeerd gaan nie. Ek glo dat aan jou beef moet jy nooit doodgaar maak.
Daar sê. Okay, ons gaan Presses het 'n gas aan daai kant. Die geur is heerlik kykers. Ons gaan gou vir Presses ook 'n geleentheid gee om haar gas voor te stel en hulle gaan 'n geselsie hê. Dan kom ons terug hier waar dit lekker is by die rooster.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nhh.com.na.
Aan die tafel, maar ek is nie spyt nie want ek sit met 'n baie mooi gesig hierso. Anina, how are you doing today?
Oh, brilliant. So lovely to be here. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Precious.
Okay, so we have Anina here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about this background of a story of bones, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so just take us through a story of bones.
So, A Story of Bones is a full feature-length documentary about my journey on the island of St. Helena. So about 12 years ago, I moved there as the environmental officer to to work on an airport construction site. So A Story of Bones basically follows my journey in uncovering the most significant physical trace of the transatlantic slave trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during your time there, you discovered, or rather your team discovered, shallow graves and bones in these shallow graves, and they basically had to be moved for the construction of the airport.
Yes.
Yes. How did that go?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the time I was 24. It was probably my first big job. And being there as the environmental officer, a part of a 250 million pound project, was a massive responsibility. So 4 years prior to my arrival, they excavated 325 graves, yeah, to make way for the road that would connect the airport to the harbour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you took this experience and you basically went and created a whole documentary that took you about 8 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Tell us about the documentary.
Yeah, well, I think the things that really matter, they take time. So initially, I mean, I'm not a filmmaker. I did a degree in environmental science and archaeology. And halfway through the project, 3 British filmmakers came to the island, and they wanted to film the opening of the airport and how the small remote island and the small group of people would respond to air access for the first time.
Yeah.
And then the more they did investigations and they were talking to people, everyone was like, oh, you should speak to Nina, you know, she's
Yeah.
doing work on the burial grounds,
Yeah.
and she's raising awareness. And that took them about 8 years to follow me and learn more about the work that I was doing, which was completely focused on reconnecting the community to this magnificent heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just an update on the burial ground. How's that going? Did they manage? What did they do to you?
Yeah, so the 325 graves that were excavated 14 years ago, they were reburied by the government finally after the release of the film. And now that's due is memorialization so that a lot more people can learn about it. And also the rest of the African diaspora needs to learn about it. So
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I came home,
Yeah.
is to share this magnificent story that everyone should own and is connected to.
Yeah.
But more specifically that Africans can have access to their heritage. So yeah, it's good to be back, and it's been lovely to show the film to Namibians.
Yeah, no, we're great that you're back, and we're grateful that you're doing what you're doing now with the show. And speaking of the show and the screening, let's talk traction. Let's talk production.
Yeah.
How did that go, and how's the traction going with the show?
Yeah, I mean, I was very unprepared for what it means to release a full feature-length documentary about something so important and globally significant out into the world. So we premiered in Tribeca, New York City 2 years ago, 2022. And then since then, the world has just been amazing. We've had magnificent response, and not always positive, but that's because of the story. I mean, the story is an uncomfortable one. It deals with the legacies of colonialism and slavery and racism. And these are all conversations that we as people struggle to talk about because we're so set on being comfortable, especially governments. But we've also have some incredible responses in the sense of other governments, like the Dutch government, that have entered into the apology of slavery, and they're just completely taking the film all across the world. So no, it's been exciting, but being home has definitely been a milestone.
I can imagine. But okay, I have to cut you off here.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to chat a little bit about the Tiekkie box. But for now, I think it's time we go ahead over and have a look at one of Otis's favorite landscapes, the Spitskop.
Hallo Namibia, ons is by die kus en ons is lig.
Away by the Easter shard.
Okay. Okay, so please, today you make sure that we are fed. Sorry, ek as
The Matterhorn of Namibia, or the Spitzkoppe, which is German for pointed dome, is a group of bold granite peaks or inselbergs located between Usakos and Swakopmund. The granite is more than 120 million years old, with the highest outcrop rising about 1,728 meters. That equals to about 5,000 feet above sea level. The peaks stand out from the flat surrounding plains, with the highest being about 670 meters above the floor of the desert below, and a minor peak known as the Little Spitzkoppe at an elevation of 1,557 meters. Many examples of Bushman artwork can be seen painted on the rocks in the Spitzkoppe area. Best believe it is one beautiful sight. In 1896, a trading post named Spitzkoppe was built below the mountain by the German Colonial Society, the centerpiece of a 120,000 hectare farm. The trading post consisted of a 5-room farmhouse and stables, storerooms, and other outbuildings. In 1899, the farm held 120 horses, 1,500 cattle, and 4,000 sheep and goats, with the manager being a German settler. It was later transferred to a farmer and a police station was built. The farm was expropriated with compensation in 1964 under the Oudendal Plan of the Oudendal Commission for the Creation of Home Territories, otherwise referred as homelands for the black population. Multiple Damara families were moved to the location, which was in fact a village with a church and school, in 1970. The municipal campsite and the area around the Great Spitzkoppe was declared as the Gaingu Conservancy on the 7th of September in the year 2003. This Bushman paradise was made accessible through a gate with chains, has lost its attractiveness as almost all of the 2,000 to 4,000-year-old prehistoric rock paintings have been destroyed. Around the foot of the Great Spitzkoppe, you can still find good drawings, especially at the Rhino Rock. The site has a population of community members who over the years have started living and grazing their livestock in the area. A noteworthy fact is that photographs of the Spitzkoppe Mountains were used as backgrounds for the 2001 A Space Odyssey and the Dawn of Man sequences. Any ascent of the peak requires exposed and delicate rock climbing of a high grade. While the standard route up the peak is not extremely difficult, it presented quite a formidable undertaking in the earliest days, owing to the isolation of the peak, the heat of the desert, and the total lack of water. And there you have it for the history of the Spitzkoppe Mountains.
Hello anglers, another long weekend is heading our way, and many will for sure be out to go and give it a try. The tough times, however, continue with mostly sharks being landed. Some guys travel to Canopy without any success. Even the anglers that competed in the nationals found the going tough. They reeled in a lot of sharks, including spotties, bronzies and sand sharks, but the edibles were very scarce. Mostly young kabeljou were caught in between the sharks over 3 days at Winston, Canopy and Jakkalspits. Grysdentjies also produce some mid-size to decent galjoen. Mile 14, Vlotska and Grysdentjie should provide some action in the absence of any action at Langstrand and Vierkant Klip. Palkies is finally opening up for catching kabeljou on the 1st of April, and this is no April Fool's joke. The area was off limits for catching this delicacy, and catches that were made had to be returned to the ocean. This is necessary to allow the fish to breed and to maintain healthy or sustainable stock levels. Despite the absence of fish, the water conditions are looking excellent for angling, with wave heights of between 0.8 meter and 1.5 meters predicted. Southwesterly, south-southwesterly, westerly and northwesterly winds of between 2 and 26 knots could prevail. This is a good sign and could get the sulfur out of the water and the fish on the bite again. The tide tables indicate that the best fishing times on Wednesday, 27 March would be from 13 minutes past 3 to 15 minutes past 4, and on Thursday, 28 March from 20 minutes to 4 to 18 minutes to 5, and on Friday, the 29th of March from 10 past 4 to 12 minutes past 5. Remember to arrive at least 1 hour before these times. Make sure you have a fishing license. Recreational fishing permits cost $14 per month and $168 per year, and are available at the ministry's offices in Windhoek, Walvis Bay, Swakopmund and Loudrich. They can also be obtained at the Henties Bay Police Station. Send a message to our chatbot on 085 785 6231 with the code word tides, and you will receive access to the tides in the palms of your hand. You can also visit our website at www.erongo.com.na to check out the tides and best fishing times for the week. Hallo kijkers en welkom by vandag se episode van Erongo Top.
I am your host Frida Moloto.
I'm your Shalom Johannes.
Bring ons vir julle die nuus, die weer en nog meer.
Ek is nog steeds betrokke by Sparta self.
Die weer is mooi. Dit is 'n eer om hier te wees. Ondersteun ons. Ons gaan julle trots maak.
Sit gerus terug en geniet hierdie episode met ons.
Okay, but we're back en ons gaan 'n bietjie meer oor die Tiekkie box gesels.
Yes.
And you're going to tell us how you came about it and how A Story of Bones contributed to it as
Yeah.
well.
So A Story of Bones is basically the first chapter of my journey, and it directly brought me to the Tiekkie Box project because I realized through discovering, the personal discovery of the graves on St. Helena, that there are so many other sites around the world that also need support, protection, attention. And behind these sites are all these descendant communities and activists that are working to remember and to protect their heritage. And they often don't get the support that they need to do so. So through my struggle on St. Helena, I've found a purpose in helping others. So coming to Swakopmund is basically to highlight the work that our own activist, Namibian activist, is doing. And that's Leitlo Perenganda here in Swakopmund. And he's working to protect the genocide graves at the Swakopmund Cemetery, which a lot of people don't know about. And that I didn't know about growing up in Namibia and studying history in school.
I myself also wasn't too familiar with it, and it was until I went to the grave, when was it, on Independence Day,
Yes.
and I was like, I actually didn't know. I've always known about this graveyard.
Yes.
I didn't know that there was so much history behind it.
Absolutely, and I mean, we're talking about thousands of graves
Yeah.
that are not being maintained. So Laidlaw takes it upon himself to raise awareness, raise funds, and I think about 4 times a year he protects the graves, because obviously it's shallow graves yet again, and the wind blows all
Yeah.
the sand away and they're
Yeah.
uncovered. So he does amazing work here.
Okay, so I'm sure you've worked on several other projects.
Yeah.
Can we just tap a little bit into what you've been busy with?
Yeah, so except for the Swakopmund genocide graves here, I've also been working in the Dutch Caribbean. So on St. Eustatius, which also due to an airport construction project, they also dug up ancestral graves tied to formerly enslaved Africans or enslaved Africans. And they stood up and fought against what archaeologists had been doing there.
Yeah.
So I'm on their board and I'm advising them on how to proceed. And I'm hoping to travel there in November to raise awareness, to show the film as well. And then there's also several graves in South Africa that I'm also busy working with. So yeah, right across the world, and yeah, we're showing the film everywhere to try and raise awareness about specific sites
Yeah.
that we all have in our backyards,
Yeah.
basically.
That we're all a little unfamiliar with.
Yeah, yeah.
But my stomach is growling just a little
Mine
bit.
too.
So, ek wil weer gaan kyk wat vang outes daaraan. Ek paniek bietjie van gewoonlik is ek aan daai kant,
Oh,
maar kom
right.
ons gaan kyk wat daaraan gaan.
To check tire pressure, park on a flat surface, remove valve caps and use a pressure gauge on the valve stems. Compare the reading to the recommended pressure in your owner's manual. Adjust as needed with an air compressor. Replace your valve caps and repeat on all your tires. This simple process takes about 30 seconds per tire and helps ensure proper inflation for fuel efficiency and safety.
Hierdie man maak so lekker kos, die koele praat saam. Die koele praat saam en dis proe om te glo. Sê vir my man, jy het nou mos nou al by baie plekke kos voorberei. Watter plek lê vir jou na in die hart? Watter plek lê vir jou baie na in die hart?
Syde.
Die syde, né?
Syde.
Ja, ja.
Dit is
Enige
baie
iets spesiaal
lekker om
daar opgesit?
syde grond te kook. Troue,
Nee, ja.
plaastroue.
Ja.
Altyd 'n wenner.
Daar sê.
Plaastroue is
Nou
altyd 'n
alright.
wenner.
Jy het hom nou al hier vir ons in 'n sousie gesit.
Ja, hier vanaf gaan hy in 'n secret barbecue sausietjie.
Is dit 'n geheime besigheid?
Ja, net hulle twee sal weet.
Daar sê.
Nee, dat jy nie sou sal weet.
Auwe. Okay. So ons is eintlik nou klaar, né?
Ja.
Okay. So
Ons kan hulle
ek dink
afhaal.
ons moet vir Precious heil seker al van die hongerte daar waar sy aan nou bevind. Kom ons sort vir haar uit man.
Ons sal
Ek wil haar
gou
hart
probeer.
gelukkig maak vandag, chef man. Ja. Okay. Ons gaan nou dish. Ons is reg om te dish. Ek moet sê die flavor is out of this world. Nie eens die wind wat hier waai kan hierdie flavor vandag hier wegwaai nie. Dit is iets uniek. Dit is iets besonders wat besig is om hier te gebeur. Hoe maak jy jou mashed potatoes?
Hier het ek oggend net gekook met 'n bietjie grove sout.
Ja, grove sout.
Grove sout.
Wat maak hy tekstuur?
Die grove sout maak hom eintlik baie vinnig sag.
Die aardappel.
Ja, dan sukkel jy nie met hom saam.
Wow. Nou, hoor julle nou daar, kykers. Goeie wenk, bietjie grove sout vir jou aardappel. Ek hoop Precious hoor. Ek kan jou in die mieliemeel nog gooi.
Nee, ongelukkig nie.
Hy maak seker die pap styf.
Jy moet hom ingooi as die pap klaar is.
Okay. Grove sout. Right. Enigiets anders nog in jou mash?
Nee, eintlik die grove pepertjies, ja.
Ja.
En dan hou ek van lemon en herb spice.
Man, jy kook met grove goed, maar jy kook sagte kos, my vriend. Daar sê. Sjoe. Daar sê. Jy is klaar hier, né?
Nog nie klaar nie.
Moet daar nog iets kom?
Daar kom nog ietsie op.
Okay.
So voor hierdie kant toe maak.
Ja. Wonderlik. Ooh. Ek hou van kleure in die kos, man. Ek hou van kleure in die kos.
Mense eet met die oë.
Ek sien jy's 'n kunstenaar eintlik. Jy's nie 'n chefie, jy's 'n kunstenaar. Jy toer hierso, man. Jy toer. Is ons klaar?
Daar is ons.
Kom ons skuif oor. Daar's hy. Precious.
Amazing.
So precious.
Dankie.
Ja, ek het jou gesê.
Wow.
Anders die beste kok, wat sê jy nou?
Ek kan nog steeds die ander gee op daai nie. Ek voel nog steeds vroumense doen dit beter, maar
Dit gaan ons vertel. Precious, geniet dit, man. Geniet dit. Ons afbrei verdict.
Oh man, this looks
That's vrede, Precious.
Ek sal dit los
vir jou.
Ek sal dit los vir vandag, maar en ook vir jou met die net baie gesels.
Ek het die chef gebring, Precious. Ek het die chef
gebring. Ek gaan jou gee vir daai.
Ja.
Kyk, maar nou die beste nie, maar ek hoop jy was in goeie hande.
Ja, sy. Kykers, ja, dit was 'n rollercoaster journey. Baie dankie vir almal van julle wat hierdie show 'n sukses gemaak het, want ek glo sonder ons gaste, sonder Precious en sonder die mense agter die skerms, ek meen, waar sou ons bevind het? Nergens, né? Nergens. Ja, en ek meen
met 'n goeie vibe.
Yes.
Ons het hierdie persoon geniet.
Ons het iets van alles gehad. Ons het julle die Rongo gewys soos julle hom nog nooit gesien het nie. En die feedback wat ek kry, né, baie mense sê vir my, "Wow, jy weet ook van die manlandskappe. Ek weet van
Spitskoppe, Brandberg.
En ek weet van die passies van mense soos sy.
Ja.
Jy weet, ja, wat. Ek weet dis 'n sensitiewe issue. Veral nou met die Bobeje, die genocide en al die, maar ons kon 'n groot wye verskeidenheid van mense na die issue toe bring. En uit luister vir jou. Wat en wie? Namibia.
Nee.
Ja. En jou kant, wat was vir jou lekker?
Behalwe die kos. Behalwe die kos, ek dink dit is die bietjie wat elkeen na die show toe gebring het. Ons het so baie weggevat van elke mens wat hier gekom het. Want ek het random gaste gehad. Ons het gaste gehad wat gekom het en 'n verskil gemaak het. Elke een het weggeloop met 'n bietjie meer inligting. Ja, so aan die einde van die dag maak dit maar ook net dat jy jou dorp bietjie anders te kyk, dit maak dat jy jou surroundings bietjie anders te kyk en twee keer dink oor paar goed en na 'n paar plekke toe gaan jy wat gedink. Daar is iets soos maanlandskap. So die show was baie informative. Dit was baie lekker vir my absolutely.
Ek dink uit ons het die show begin om die mooi van Namibië te wys, die lekker van Namibië, die kulture en ook die smaak.
Ja.
En uit het mense soos jou Precious en ons chefs, ons koks, verstaan nie wat dit vegetarian. Hier, hoe Precious van my hier.
Ek was net bekommerd oor jou gesondheid, maar ouers vir ons so chit-chat, ons moet 'n bietjie
champagne pop
en ons moet sê tot ziens. Kan jy champagne pop? Wil jy pop?
No, I am terrible at popping, but I will.
Precious is tot weerziens.
Is
tot weerziens, né? Ja, onder rocks, groot planne, groot dinge.
Wat aankom?
Hou op. Ons gaan nog nasionaal en een van die dae is ons internasionaal.
Ek is al gereed.
Ja, kom haal ek vir Precious. En die hele span.
En dan toer ons die wêreld
saam. Hierdie ding begin het. Ons groet vir eers julle.
En ons sê,
daar sê.